Hello everyone, welcome to this week's weekly market view for Monday the 9th of Jan to Friday the 13th of Jan 2023. My name is Vishal. Let's get started. So let us start with the Nifty analysis for this week, and if you look at the monthly chart, things are looking pretty bearish right now. I mean, if you can see this entire monthly candle, it has failed to close above the highs, and it's able to not sustain over these all-time highs. So right now we are more or less expecting the markets to probably correct a little further. We are in this or inching closer to this level of demand right now, and it's just another 200 points for this market to come into this area, and it'll be interesting to see what the markets do over here. Let's move on to the weekly chart, and on the weekly chart we are still bouncing into this area of demand after a pretty significant fall in price. We are still falling, but now we are again coming into this tested area of demand. It'll be interesting to see whether this level of demand holds or eventually breaks out. What is going to be interesting for the coming weeks or for the coming months is to see if there is going to be a potential new area of supply going to be created over here. So maybe institutions are just creating this area over here before they eventually do this, and then this is going to become a potentially new area of supply where prices might even drastically start moving towards these extreme areas of demand on the weekly chart. But of course, this is more or less in hindsight. We'll have to actually see what really happens, but this is just trying to anticipate what could happen for the coming weeks or for the coming months. Let's look at the daily chart. So if you look at the daily chart, the supply zone on the daily chart has played out quite decent. If you look at this area was bought in our past weekly sessions. Price came back into this level, reacted to this level, and started to fall down, right? So now we are coming into a tested area of demand, but in case if this area breaks, then this supply zone is going to be considered to be a very, very strong level, and it would probably mean that it's not going to be very, very easy for the market in the coming days or for the coming weeks to actually breach this level. So ये level को तोड़ना थोड़ा मुश्किल हो जाएगा मार्केट के लिए अगर प्राइस इस डिमांड को ब्रेक करता है तो. But that is something that we will have to see in the coming days. But right now seems like it's more or less going to be a consolidated range between this demand and this supply for the coming week. Let's plot our options tool here. So let's go to professional options trader IV gauge, and let us see what are the premiums looking like. So by looking at the options graph, we had a slight drop in volatility today. So option premiums have become slightly cheaper. Volatility has gone down. So again, favoring option buyers more than option sellers in the positional scenario of this market. So just be careful with the options premiums. We are heading into a budget session where ideally expectations tend to increase, volatility tends to increase, but no signs are showing that of the volatility increasing as of now. So option premiums on the Nifty are pretty deflated, and any kind of debit strategies or debit spreads would be a good idea to implement, or any kind of calendar spreads or diagonals will also be a good idea to implement in this current volatility scenario. Now let's slightly move on to the intraday charts, and let's go to the 30-minute chart first to see what the markets are exactly doing. So today at the end of the Friday week's close, we have closed into this area of demand, but this is again a tested area of demand. Can the prices bounce from here? Surely yes. and even if they bounce, they are more or less trying to move into a range bound consolidation, right? So right now what we are seeing is this area of supply is holding up pretty okay, and this is the point from where the prices have actually significantly fallen down, right? They have exactly stalled at this area of demand. This may not be a good area of demand, but this can be a good area of demand to possibly give another bounce for possibly, getting into this area again and then market falling down. All right, so just keep a close watch on this 30-minute supply zone, as we expect that there could be a bounce in the market in the next week, and we could see another fall in price. Let's move on to the Bank Nifty. So let's look at some of the key levels on the Bank Nifty chart. So on the Bank Nifty monthly chart, and just ignore some of the markings that are done on the chart already, because this is more or less done in our XLT sessions where we are planning a live trade, and in fact we are in a live trade. So these are all the markings from them. But if you look at the overall price chart over here, this is a sign of consolidation, or probably this is a sign of a little bit of tiredness, right? So when generally markets tend to start correcting, there is a tendency that markets will most likely pull back to the higher time frame levels of demand. Now obviously this level is very, very far away from current market price, but look at the overall structure that the price is creating over here right now, right? So we have to be mentally prepared that just in case if the prices do pull back, then this is going to be the area of demand that would be of a key interest to us, from where we expect to see a bounce coming into the market. All right, let's move on to the daily chart, and let's quickly look at the volatility on the Bank Nifty as well. So Bank Nifty volatility was slightly up, but today the volatility has shot down. Coming weeks or months, as the budget starts approaching, we might see a rise in volatility, because people's expectations will start increasing. But very, very interestingly, today also Bank Nifty has also reacted from this area of supply. And if you look at all these candles over here, as I've been saying, that probably this is a sign of distribution by the institutions when they start initiating, or when they start creating new positions in the market. They don't just directly take the market up or take the market down, they start building the position. So this was a sign of distribution, and then we saw a 3-day move to the downside, and very, very strong day. And in fact today also the price has created a new low, and now prices are bouncing more or less from this drop base rally. So this is where the market has closed now at 42,188. It'll be interesting to see in the coming trading sessions whether the market consolidates between this demand and the above level of supply, or markets tend to start moving further down to fill these gaps. Let's look at the intraday charts. So let's go to a 30-minute chart. And if you look at the 30-minute chart, there are some new levels of supply that have been created. So I'm just going to remove these daily levels here. But these are going to be some of the key levels of supply to watch out for next week. We have already hit one level of supply today, very, very, at the end of the day. We did not act upon this yet, because this supply is a little low on the curve. But this area, and then possibly this area, these will be some of the areas to watch out for in case if the market gives a strong bounce and starts to move to the upside. All right. Let's look at the USDINR, और देखते हैं USDINR से हमें कुछ extra information मिल सकता है या नहीं. So let's look at the USDINR, and if you look at the USDINR, the USDINR is inching up on the monthly chart, which is again very, very bearish for the Nifty and the Sensex and all the other indices. Let's move on to the weekly chart. On the weekly chart, you have 8010 to 78.49 as one of your levels, and then you also see this consolidation happening over here, but not really clear signs of any levels yet. Let's move on to the daily chart, and on the daily chart we are seeing a little bit of consolidation. This is again institutions building positions. You can see the volatility is in the mid of being cheap versus expensive. So volatility is pretty fair right now. So options are neither cheap, neither expensive. And if you look at some of the key levels, our key levels have not yet hit from last week. 81.89 to the downside and 83.13, 83.28 to the upside. So we'll keep these levels on the radar, and if prices do come here, expect to see the prices turning down from the supply zone, and if the prices come into this level of demand, then we would also expect to see a bounce coming in on USDINR. Let's analyze the sector for the week, and this week we have chosen the Nifty Financial Services as our sector for the week. So let's quickly analyze that, and then we will come to the specific stock that we are going to be marking some key levels of demand and supply. So let's remove all the levels first, and then we'll do a fresh marking from the start. All right, so let's start with the monthly chart of financial services, and as we can see, as the bank nifty is also heading down towards that level of demand, the financial services is also heading down. We have key areas of demand right now. Financial services is taking help of this tested monthly demand. We do have this area of demand here, but it's not a very high probability area, since the prices have not really giving you a fair enough of room to the upside. We would expect to see the prices actually moving a little further away to initiate something, but it will be interesting to see if there is something smaller on the levels, on the smaller time frames, to say so. Let's go on to the weekly chart, and on the weekly chart we are now right in the midst of this entire area of supply. Although it's tested supply, as I've always said, that institutions always try and build positions. So don't be surprised if this drop based basing turns out to be another big red candle in the coming week, thus creating a new level of supply for prices to retrace back and then start going towards these levels of demand. So right now the charts are looking a little bit more bearish than bullish, and if there is any kind of rally that comes into this market, will be more or less like a short covering rally, where the short people who are short on the market will try and cover their positions to book profits. That will lead to short covering. Okay, let's go on to the daily chart now, and let's look at what is happening on the daily chart. So if you look at the financial services also, there is a lot of similarity in the Nifty, the bank Nifty, and the financial services chart, right? I mean, if you look at this entire pattern, this pattern is more or less created on all the charts that I've just shown you. This pattern is there on the Nifty, this pattern is there on the bank Nifty, and the same pattern is there on the financial services chart also. Now what we need to be a little careful of is that we are coming into this gap level of demand. Now you might argue that this level is tested and this level is already gone deep inside, so what is the guarantee that this level will play out again? So जब तक प्राइस इस लेवल को होल्ड करता है तब तक ये डिमांड जो है वो सिग्निफिकेंट होता है. एक बार ये जब डिमांड ब्रेक होता है, once this demand zone gets broken, then there are no pending orders over here. So can there be another significant bounce coming out of this zone? Surely yes. As I said, that there can be a short covering which is expected to come after such a big fall in price, and we could see the markets again possibly strongly moving up, and moving up very strongly to the upside. Okay, that doesn't mean that you have to go and start buying. That just means that probably there will be another opportunity for you to go and short this market. All right, let's look at the 60-minute chart, or you can also look at the 75 minutes. We'll just load the 60 minutes to just check. Okay, so I can't see a clear level here, but I think I can see something interesting here. So just keep a close watch on this supply zone. This is a drop-based drop pattern on the financial services, and in case if there is a bounce coming in on the financial services, then you might want to start looking at some of the key financial services stocks coming into potential areas of supply to start going short. All right, the stock for the week is none other than Bajaj Finance, and let's quickly have a look at Bajaj Finance. It's also been in the news. Okay, so let's start with the monthly chart of Bajaj Finance, and let's try to see where are we with respect to Bajaj Finance. So Bajaj Finance has come into this pivot demand area. Right now, this entire area of demand is a reaction to this area of demand, right? So this is not the real demand, right? This is your real demand, and now the prices are coming back into this area. So is it a good idea to go short right now on Bajaj Finance? I don't think it's an ideal shorting opportunity right now, since we are in a higher time frame demand and we are slightly low on the curve. Right, let's look at the weekly chart. If you look at the weekly chart, we have hit a level of demand on Bajaj Finance, but what is a little bit more concerning is that we have also created a level of supply here. Right now, this level of supply will hold significance, and even more significance if it's able to breach this level. Right, so if this level gets breached, which means that if you have taken a trade on Bajaj Finance, you might get stopped out, then this supply zone becomes a very, very strong supply zone. But if that doesn't happen, and as I said that, Bank Nifty have, all closed into, a level of demand, although it's tested, but we could see a bounce. We would expect Bajaj Finance also to potentially give us a bounce. So the area of interest on Bajaj Finance is this area over here, which I've already plotted on the chart, which is from 57.40 to 59.52. Now, if you're wanting to go a little bit more micro and wanting to fine tune this level to curtail your risk, then you can also go to a smaller time frame chart and fine tune your level. Okay, so these are the things that we actually teach in our courses and in XLTs on how to do something what is called as refining to identify the best levels to curtail your risk. So keep a close watch on 59.52, 57.40. If there is a strong bounce coming into Bajaj Finance and the overall markets, we would expect Bajaj Finance to rally all the way back into this gap area over here. All right. Okay. So thank you very much, everyone. I wanted to just keep this very, very short and sweet. I hope you enjoyed the analysis for this week, and we will continue doing our best in terms of giving you education, knowledge. If you do like our channel, please do not hesitate to click on the subscription button. At the same time, do mention what you like about our sessions in the comment section. I will see you all next week, everyone. Till then, take care, trade safe, bye-bye.
This should not be treated as a recommendation. Please conduct your own analysis or consult a financial advisor before investing.